Hey everybody, welcome to opening day. This is Chris with What Up Sports. I want to give you my picks for this season. Let's see what happens and go from there. Hopefully I'm not too long-winded, as we all know I can be. But here we go. You ready? Because I sure know I am. Especially because the season starts in less than an hour. Booyah! All right, here we go. MLB 2025 season. This is what I got. Who knows what's going to happen? Nobody truly knows. All the people that are allegedly experts have no clue as much as I have a clue. So, here we go. AL East. I think that the Orioles are going to win the AL East. I think this is the time that the Orioles are going to actually finally put it together and win the AL East. I know that they did pretty well a few years back, but I think they've got a few pieces that they picked up during the offseason, and it's time to go. I think that in the NL East, ooh, boy, the big one's got to be the Braves. I know everybody's all Mets, because they signed 8,000 people. They signed Juan Soto. They signed blah, 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 blah. But the Braves got a key piece back to their starting rotation and Fried, and I think that is going to get them over that hump again like it did a few years back. So therefore, I've got the Braves in the AL East. In the Central, the Central just doesn't seem to be that competitive, allegedly. But I chose to take the Guardians. I think that Guardians could do a lot. It truly depends on if they get hit by that injury bug. They need to stay healthy. Their starting rotation needs to stay healthy. If their bullpen has a sub-4 ERA, I think they will dominate. I really do, okay? And then in the NL Central, this is a pick that I think might surprise a lot of people, maybe not. I'm taking the Reds. I think that the Reds, it's kind of their time. Hunter Green's coming into his own as a young pitcher. I can see him dominating this year, possibly, as long as he gets run support. As you know, and I know, run support's a big thing here. I mean, if you don't get it, well, then guess what? Things don't happen. In the AL West, this to me is a two-team race. There's no other teams. It's a two-team race. It's between the Mariners and the Rangers. And I think that Bochy, I call it the Bochy factor because he is such a phenomenal coach. I think that Bochy is going to have these guys ready again to make another World Series run, if you guys all know what I'm saying. So I am going to actually go with the Rangers, even though Seattle has probably the best starting rotation in the MLB. Their offense is freaking joke. I think Justin Turner said it best. You're not doing anything in the off season. You have the best rotation. I mean, literally. But anyway, now, the NL West, which, I am a huge, ginormous fan on. No pun intended on the Giants. But you have to knock out the champion. And as much as it hurts me to say this, you have to go with the Dodgers. Now, the Giants won spring training, which you know and I know that doesn't mean crap. But it is a confidence booster for the Giants. And you guys know that I'm very biased with the Giants. But the Giants have to come out and they need to hit the Dodgers with the baseball bat, no pun intended, or they need to do a Dave Parker and use the sledgehammer, folks. If you know, you know. But that's my pick. Now I'm going to go into my wild card picks, and then I'll give you a dark horse, and then I'll give you guys my World Series matchup, so on and so forth. All right, my wild card picks, here we go. I've got the Yankees, I've got the Rays, and the Mariners. I don't see another team coming out of the Central, and I think the Mariners are the number 2 team in the West. We'll have to weigh that out and see what happens, okay? Now, my wild card teams in the National League. I got the Giants, the Phillies, and yes, the Mets. I think the Phillies are going to go off of the last couple of years and kind of keep that flow going. I think Trey Turner is going to be healthy. I think their starting pitching is going to be healthy. Nola will probably be a little bit healthier than he was last year, hopefully, knock on wood. And we'll just have to see what Philly actually does. Depends, is Real Muto going to be able to come back and play ball? I don't know. We'll see. He's getting up there in age, even though he's a damn good catcher. He's probably right now the best catcher in the league. Patrick Bailey's probably the second, which if he can start hitting a little better, he could be the best. But that's what I got to say about that. Now, my dark horses. In the American League, there's one dark horse, and it's not the White Sox. Okay, just so everybody knows this. It's not the White Sox, not at all, nowhere close. But there's a team that's going to actually be playing in front of people that want to see them this year. Yes, it is the Sacramento Las Vegas A's, folks. I am definitely taking the A's as my dark horse. You have no idea what's going to happen when they play in front of a crowd that wants them. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to go with as my dark horse. Now, I had a toss-up. I'm going to give you the 2 teams that I had a toss-up with. And here are the 2 factors that I took into effect, okay? I took the Brewers and the Cubs as my dark horse teams. And I'm going to narrow that down to 1. You have the Cubs, who has Coach Craig Counsell, who I love. I think Counsell's phenomenal. I think that he has become, his maturity as a head coach has been really strong over the last few years. I think the Cubs made the right choice on choosing him as their manager a couple years back. And I thought he did a great job with the Brewers and what the Brewers had at the time. And, let's see what happens there, okay? Now, speaking of the Brewers, I have Brewers. So I'm kind of on the fence with them. And the reason why I have the Brewers is Christian Yelich. If Christian Yelich can be healthy and come back to his MVP stats, and the Brewers pitching comes together, especially their starting rotation. If their starting rotation is, I'm going to go with the sub 4 again, I think that they might be one of the biggest dark horses. With that being said, guess who my NL dark horse is going to be? The Brewers, folks, the Brewers. Now, with these teams, I'm not going to go through the full matchups because that's just absurdly ridiculous. There's a lot of people that have already had the Dodgers winning the World Series because, they do have strength and depth in their whole farm system. They probably have one of the best farm systems in the major league. Second would be probably the Rangers, in my opinion. But in the AL, I have to take Bochy. I really do. I got to go with the Rangers and Bochy. And this is going to be fun because I think Bochy comes home and plays the Giants. Okay, here we go. Now you got Bochy and the Rangers versus Melvin and the Giants. I'm really curious to see who's starting pitching is going to thrive because the Giants started pitching, did a hell of a job in spring training. So did the Rangers. It's going to be up to the bullpens. Giants last year, their bullpen was horrendous. Rangers' bullpen was mediocre. So that's what it's going to come down to pitching-wise. Now, hitting, Giants were dismal. I think they were like number 27 or 28 in team average, and the Rangers were like 15 or 16. I think that the Rangers hitters need to hit a collective at least over 235, 240 as a team. Now, I know that's horrible, but you take into account that it's the whole team. Not everybody's going to hit 500. Not everybody's going to hit negative 300 or be below the Mendoza line. You got to take that all into account. If the Giants can hit 240, 250 as a team, you're going to see some big things happening for them. So my choice, and yes, I am very biased, I am going to go with the Giants. I have to. I just got that weird feeling, and I know it's going to happen. Really? No, I don't, but I am very biased, and the Giants are my team, and I see something special in this. I think Verlander brings a great added mental game to help the young pitchers and to challenge Logan Webb a little bit to get him that much better, because Verlander is basically a coach as well. And I think that veteran leadership that Verlander brings in, as well as Logan Webb, now being considered a veteran, in my opinion, I think this is going to be huge. Now, the position players, I mean, we got Willy Adames at shortstop. I think that he's probably one of the top shortstops in the league. LaMonte Wade Jr., if this guy stays healthy, I can see him being the batting champion. No ifs, ands, or buts, but that's just my feeling. Patrick Bailey will be a Gold Glove winner at catcher. Matt Chapman will probably be a Gold Glove winner at third, but everything's got to come together. Okay, we've got to have that yin with that yang, have that crystal ball of no injuries, knock on everything, and that's what's going to happen. So, folks, those are my picks. That's how it's going to go, in my opinion. Hey, what are your picks? I want to know. Tag us in anything and everything, letting us know how you guys are going to pick this season and see who your winners are of all the different conferences, all the different conferences, division, whatever they are. Sorry, can't talk all of a sudden. I'm curious. I want to know who your wild card is. I want to know who your dark horse is. And I want to know who your World Series matchup is as well. All right, folks. So from me to you, Crispy and Chris, what up, everybody? And don't forget, that's Liquid Nitro Energy Drink. You got to try it out. Boom! Let the mic drop.